Welcome to the By Design radio program. My name is Dr. James Proodian of Proodian Healthcare and ProodianHealthcare.com, where health literacy is the key to longevity. And as long as God has us on this side of eternity, my show is designed to help educate you and your families to feel better, function better, and live as many quality, disease-free years as possible. For those of you listening out there who have seen me speak over the last few months, I wanted to say thank you to all of you letting me into your organizations, your businesses. Down here in Long Branch, New Jersey, I am the Director of Wellness for the city called City Well, and the City Well program is 6 months old now, and we're really proud getting this thing off the ground. It's great to see municipalities and businesses and organizations and churches. My By Design ministry does seminars in churches as well as a fundraiser for various Christian organizations. I just want to say thank you to you all. It seems as though we're starting to, see God's warriors start to get a little bit upset over the subject matter of chronic illness and how it's affecting their children, and taking matters into different places, meaning they're becoming more literate. They're becoming prepared to have conversations with their PTAs, and in the businesses, they're driving down healthcare costs by containing healthcare costs by getting their employees healthier. So if you're part of a business or an organization, my Wellness at Work program, which is about 20 years old, I've been doing this for quite some time. The health education is primary to me because it's the catalyst to get people to go and take action. And since we're at the show number 11 of a series of shows on change and transformation and creating real life expectations, you've probably got a flavor for me over the weeks, and I am not a salesperson. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm only want to deliver the science behind God's miracle, which is called life, and the way we were designed by Him to take care of our physical, nutritional, and psychological properties in our body. And if we look at it from the science perspective, and that's what this show is basically broken up into, we've been taking apart the science of the brain and how the brain controls every system in the body. And I like this book, Change Your Brain, Change Your Body, by Daniel Amen, A-M-E-N. And I've been using this book for the last 11 weeks, going through it pretty much chapter by chapter, because in everything that I read, I see God's amazing design for us. And Luke 1:37, for with God nothing is impossible. That means change and transformation is right there. And it's up to us to become motivated and literate about it to make change. So to all those organizations and businesses out there, congratulations. You've taken a lot of great steps moving forward to making change for the people who work for your company. And so to this week, as we get into what changes we're going to make, first we have to recognize the problem in order to make change. So we came out of a week where we were talking about energy and focus, fatigue basically. And we were talking about all the variety of robbers that Dr. Amen lays out in his book, the robbers in terms of what can be taking the energy from us. And then we talked about the type of blood testing we should be asking our doctors for to test us for a variety of things that can be in that list of those robbers, such as hypoglycemia or HSCRP, which is C-reactive protein being elevated, which is an inflammatory marker, or low vitamin B12, for instance. These are all things that could be robbing us from our energy and our focus and keeping us from our goals to feel better, function better, and live as many quality disease-free years as possible. And if you want to keep this conversation going with me every week, please go to drproodian.com, which is my blog site, and you could read me and a variety of other authors so that we're always engaged in this wellness lifestyle. So the sleep solution, which is basically, we're going to take apart sleep. Everybody kind of think, and I know you've been through this. If you've lived quite some years, you have been through bad nights of sleep. And if you really think about the way you feel the day after a poor night's sleep, that's your body speaking to you. The importance of sleep cannot be underemphasized. It just cannot. We have been through, all of us, maybe listening to me, a variety of things in life, such as having babies, which keep us awake at night, having final exams. I know I had boatloads of them, which keep us up at night. Poor sleeping habits could be contributed to a lot of the environment that we live in, okay? Good night's sleep is essential for optimal brain and body function. Write that down in your health journal, okay? Good night's sleep is essential for optimal. Remember, we're after optimal health. God didn't give us this miracle of life, this 3-pound structure between our ears, which is the most miraculous creation in all of the universe. He didn't give us that for mediocre health. He didn't give us that from a mediocre brain. He wanted us to be optimal, and that's why he gave us the right foods to eat, okay? But I know someday we're all going to die. I'm a big boy. I understand that. But while we're here, we're looking for optimal health. So good night's sleep is essential for optimal brain and body health. It is involved in rejuvenating all the cells in your body, giving brain cells a chance to repair themselves. Now that's very important because repair and rejuvenation takes place while we sleep. Your body goes into different metabolic pathways when you sleep, okay? The way you breathe, the way your heart beats, everything changes when you're in this state of sleep. And that's when the body goes to work on repairing all the damage you did to it during the day. And it needs time to do this. So the time in which you invest in sleep is going to then deliver you how you feel in the morning. And that's why I went back to, I know we've had poor night's sleep. Remember what you feel like after that. So it's an essential component to having things such as glowing skin, high energy, a good mood, right? Not waking up in a bad mood, having good health, having a stable weight. Unfortunately, millions, up to 70 million Americans have trouble sleeping. So in there, the brain and the body are in trouble. If we're having trouble sleeping, the brain and the body are in trouble. Make no mistake about it. Underline it. Highlight it. There's no way around this. Many people want to neglect sleep. Many people just want to avoid the subject matter. Oh, Proodian, I'm okay. I get 5 hours of sleep, or I grab a few hours here and a few hours there. Stop it. If we're going to be healthy and live a wellness lifestyle, we have to look at some of the basic fundamental components of health that God gave us. And one of them is sleep, as simple as that might sound. So if we look at change, and remember, if you go back to like show 1 or 2 of this series, we talked about your body is in a constant state of change. So from the womb to the tomb, your body is in a constant state of cellular change. At the age of 48 years old, which is I am right now, my body is different. I operate different than when I was 28 or when I was 8 or when I was 8 months. The needs, the biological needs of my human existence that God gave me are different. And let me explain to you what Dr. Emmon talks about in a little bit of a chart here, and that our average sleep requirements that we need by age changes. So from ages 1 to 3 years old, you might notice that those newborn babies sleep a lot of hours of the day, anywhere between 12 to 14 hours a day. Their bodies require that much sleep because they're growing at such a rapid rate. Between the ages of 3 and 5, it dips to 11 to 13 hours. Between 5 and 12, it's 10 to 11 hours. So before we get into the teenage years, let's stop and think about our children. Between 1 year and 12 years old, anywhere between 11 to 14 hours of sleep a night. So when you think about your 9, 10-year-old boy who's outside playing or should be outside playing in the sunshine during the summer and expending all of those calories and burning and churning, and enjoying themselves, we want to make sure they're getting at least 10 hours of sleep a night, okay? Their bodies require it. Now, teenagers require about 9 hours of sleep a day or at night. That's at a minimal. I'm actually, noticed that during teenage years, sometimes you'll see your teenager require more sleep. I'm not necessarily disagreeing that they are lazy, meaning I'm not saying they're lazy. I'm saying that their bodies shut down, especially if they're highly athletic. But if you have a daughter between, 13, 15, 17, and you see her sleeping more frequently, make sure you get that blood tested. We want to make sure she's not anemic or vitamin B12 deficient or vitamin D deficient. So that blood test is essential, especially because we've got females who have menstruation, so they're losing blood. Okay, so it's very, very important that you keep an eye on, especially if they're athletic. Now let's talk about us adults. We require 7 to 8 hours a night, as well as the seniors do. So when you think about your own sleep habits, one of the things I notice about myself is when I'm exercising pretty intensely, my sleep changes, my requirements change. I actually need more like 8 to 9 hours at night versus 7 to 8 hours. When you're in tune with your health, sleep is one of those things you'll be very in tune with. So when you think about your own sleeping habits, the last time that you drifted off to sleep easily, you slept soundly all night, and you woke up feeling refreshed and alert. When was that? When was the last time you just hopped out of bed in the morning and raring to go in a good mood? When was the last time you sat down and watched a movie and you didn't fall asleep? Okay, if you aren't getting adequate sleep, your brain and your body are at risk. So this is essential. You can't will this. You can't say, I'm going to fight through this, especially you gals out there who are menopausal. This is something that, I got 3 kids and I have a job and I got to deliver the thing on time and I got to bake for the school fair tomorrow, and all of these activities, you're putting your body at risk. At some point, you have to repay your sleep debt. There is a sleep debt that we all have, and at some point you all have to repay it. Many times with women, it happens when they have hypothyroidism. They go to the doctor, the thyroid is burnt out, and they have no choice but to sleep. Because anyone with hypothyroidism, you know that you're exhausted. You can't keep your eyes open. You can't keep your head off the pillow. Okay, so the bottom line to this is our bodies are designed to sleep, and lack of sleep can make you fat. You could become obese because of lack of sleep. There are biological processes that happen. Sleep allows us, if we lose sleep, I should say, we lose our focus and our willpower. Going back to show 89, where we talked about this, 90, where we talked about this, my last show. We will lose our focus because we're interfering with brain chemistry that's supposed to be revitalized and rejuvenated when we sleep. If we talk about athletic performance, sleep is essential. Like I shared with you, my requirements for sleep, as every athlete, anybody who's athletic, the requirements for sleep go up the more athletic you are, because your body needs more time to rest, repair, and rejuvenate. Lack of sleep absolutely worsens your mood. Anyone listening to me right now, if you disagree with that statement, contact me, okay? Because if you've woken up next to a partner who is sleep deprived, you know it affects their mood. Okay? I'm talking to my married couples out there, especially when you're waking up next to your partner there, your husband, your wife, and that the husband or wife is sleep deprived, watch out. Okay, so sleep deprivation is a real live thing. And sleep deprivation leads to conditions. So we have to understand that things like medication, caffeine, alcohol, nicotine, thyroid conditions, women's issues like pregnancy, PMS, and menopause, all these are conditions that can contribute to lack of sleep, or I shouldn't even say lack of sleep or inappropriate sleep. Constantly waking up in the middle of the night, not getting a solid 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep a night. For those of you listening who are chronic pain patients, you know full well how chronic pain will rob you of your energy, and how chronic pain won't allow you to get a good night's sleep. So many times they prescribe the Lunesta along with the painkiller, and this is the kind of things that's interrupting REM sleep, or REM stands for rapid eye movement. You want to be in REM to really allow your bodies to repair. So watch those medications, particularly my chronic pain patients out there. Gastrointestinal problems, absolutely. This is going to interfere with energy production and sleep. So, and if you have sleep apnea, get it diagnosed, get it treated, because sleep apnea will again interfere with REM sleep. And then lack of REM sleep is going to spike the cortisol, which is that stress hormone in your body we spoke about. So we want to One of the things that we can do is we want to maintain a regular sleep schedule. Go to bed the same time every night, wake up around the same time every morning. We want to create a very soothing nighttime routine, and that does not involve watching 100-inch TV sets. Soothing nighttime routine. Okay, we want it, if you drink an herbal tea, make sure it's decaffeinated. Make sure that if you read, read something that's nice. Read something that is encouraging. Read the Bible. Let's read something that is not going to be like a horror story, okay? Sound is also very important. Many people require the relaxing sound of an ocean or wind chimes or a fan. This is also very good. Do not have computers and TV sets in the bedroom. Okay, and do not eat for the last 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. Regular exercise is wonderful for allowing our bodies to sleep and avoid those caffeinated beverages. Please avoid those caffeinated beverages. So as we wrap up sleep, hopefully you've learned a couple of things today, and in your health journal, you're going to put this down as a basic requirement that God gave us by His design. And if you're not sleeping 7, 8, 9 quality hours a night, go get it checked out. Let's start with a blood test and a physical exam. Let's find out why. Let's dig deeper. You've been listening to the By Design radio program with me, Dr. James Proodian. Thank you so much for listening to me this week. Please go to ProodianHealthcare.com. You can submit any questions for me that you might have for me to go over on the show. Keep your questions brief. And in this upcoming week, let's do something for our health and wellness. Let's create that wellness lifestyle for our families. Be well and God bless.